You know, I wish I'd brought a bingo card with me to this screening, because with how predictable these movies have become, I probably would have won a round of Fast and Furious bingo within the first hour. Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for Fast X, the 10th movie in the Fast saga, and the 11th movie overall in the franchise if you count Hobbs and Shaw. Unlike with Fast 9, I can actually tell you the plot of this movie. It involves Jason Momoa, who plays Dante Reyes, the son of Herman Reyes, the drug cartel leader in Fast 5. Basically, the movie retcons a few things to show us that Dante was there during the events of Fast 5, and basically he's seeking revenge against Dominic Toretto and his family for the death of his father. And of course, this pits the Fast family against possibly their greatest foe as they try to survive and look after each other. I made it a point to purposely avoid every trailer that came out for this movie, because with the trailers for Fast 9, I mean, the first trailer, they pretty much gave away the whole movie. John Cena's Dom's brother, Tarzan, and Han coming back from the dead, or not actually being killed off. And the second trailer revealed them going to space, and I just assumed that they'd do the same thing with this movie here. And unfortunately, I couldn't avoid the first trailer for Fast X. I saw it, I think in front of Shazam, but I didn't see the second one, and I didn't see the final one that dropped a few days ago. And I gotta say, as somebody who hated F9, who thinks that's the worst film in the franchise, I think Universal actually listened. I know this is very, very unlikely, but watching this movie, it feels like Universal watched my review for F9 and basically addressed most of the problems I had with that movie, like a plot that makes no sense and things just happen out of pure randomness. That doesn't happen in Fast X. The plot is very straightforward. Sure, they go to several locations and there are a ton of characters, but the overall goal is the same, and I found it to be a lot more streamlined. Another complaint I had with F9 was that despite the fact that there are cars swinging on vines and you have Ludacris and Tyrese going to space, everything with Vin Diesel and John Cena's story felt like it was dead serious, almost like Fate of the Furious. So that movie ended up being a parody of itself, but not in a good way. This movie fixes that issue because I feel like Vin Diesel is a little more on board with the fact that this is goofy and over the top. This movie doesn't ask us to take it seriously as the last two movies did, especially Fate of the Furious. That one tried to be so serious it was laughable. And the last two issues I had with F9 involved Charlize Theron and John Cena. In Fate of the Furious and F9, I had a huge issue with the fact that they brought in Charlize Theron and didn't have her do any action scenes. She is the most high-profile female action star that we have right now, and the fact that those two movies wasted her was practically insulting. This time around, she not only has one action scene that you saw in the first trailer with Michelle Rodriguez, but she has another one, both of which are awesome and made me go, finally Charlize Theron gets to do something in these movies, and she's actually pretty good in it. She's not flat or terrible like she was in the last two. She actually has a little charisma. She seems to be more in on the fact that this is goofy, and her action scenes kick a ton of ass. And as for John Cena, he was terrible in F9 because he really wasn't all that funny. He tried to be a straight-faced villain. This time around, it seemed like Universal and Vin Diesel went, oh, John Cena works better when he's funny, so let's have him bond with Dom's son. And those scenes were great, and John Cena was a lot of fun. So because of all of those fixes, it made it easier for me to enjoy this movie more than I did the last two. And everything that I even admitted to liking in the last two movies works in this one. The camaraderie between the cast members is still fun. I still really like Tyrese, Ludacris, and Nathalie Emmanuel together. They make for a great trio, and this time they're accompanied by Han more frequently, and he works perfectly with this group. Like, they're a ton of fun. I wouldn't mind seeing a spin-off with these for once the main series ends. And the action sequences are still really fun, well choreographed, and it never stops being entertaining. This movie was at one point supposed to be directed by Justin Lin, but about a week into filming he left due to creative differences, and we found out that it was kind of Vin Diesel's fault. So when Louis Leterrier from the Transporter movies, Clash of the Titans, and The Incredible Hulk was brought in, I was a little skeptical. Even though I really like The Incredible Hulk, I figured that he was brought on so Vin Diesel could be the one to actually direct the movie. Sort of like the whole Poltergeist thing that people joke about where Spielberg actually directed the movie, not Tobe Hooper. But Louis Leterrier did a really good job. He made this movie as entertaining as it was. And even though this movie breaks the laws of physics non-stop, I mean, they've been doing it the entire franchise, but I didn't think it was like with F9 where they broke the laws of physics to the point where I was insulted. Like the bridge scene where they're driving up a collapsing bridge and they make it. Like, that still pisses me off. But anyway, the action's a lot of fun. The car chases, the hand-to-hand fight choreography, it's all fantastic. And then Jason Momoa as Dante Reyes is having a blast. You can tell by this movie he is having a ton of fun playing this villain. Though I have to admit, there were points where he was way too over the top. Like, he cranked it up, not to 11, but he cranked it up to 20. Because the one thing I always admired about Fast 5, 6, and 7 is that they were goofy, people were in on it, but the actors aren't over the top to the point where they pretty much become cartoon characters. I mean, the movies have pretty much become cartoons, let's admit that right now. But Jason Momoa is the one that just pushes it way too far. Sometimes it got obnoxious, but considering that he's supposed to be this despicable villain that you hate, I guess it worked out at the end. Now, of course, this movie is filled with problems. There is some atrocious dialogue throughout. Sometimes it made me laugh, other times I just went, that's a really bad line. There are actors that pop up in this movie that don't get a whole lot to do, like Brie Larson, Jordana Brewster, Jason Statham. They're all great. They all don't do much. There are two other scenes in the movie that feature Brie Larson that aren't in the trailers, at least the first one that I saw. But yeah, she doesn't really do a whole lot here except be really cool. And unfortunately, that feeds into another issue with the movie. Because there are so many characters that get little screen time, and also because the movie feels like it's just going on forever, when it actually ends, it ends in a very abrupt manner. And this is due to the fact that this is actually the beginning of the finale. The finale for Fast and Furious was conceived as 2 parts, but just recently Vin Diesel announced that it's gonna be a trilogy of a finale. So it has that same issue like with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, or even Fellowship of the Ring, where it just ends in the middle of the story. So that really hurt the movie, the fact that it just ends. Yet at the same time, considering how much fun I had with this, I feel more enthusiastic about these last 2 movies than I did after watching F9. So I'm gonna say it's good. It's certainly not a great movie. Again, with the 10th Fast and Furious movie, you already know what to expect from it. But if you started to lose interest after 8 and 9 like I did, then this one will win you back. The action's entertaining, it's not as serious as the previous movies were, it's got a great villain, the family dynamic is a lot of fun, and it actually ends with a cameo that made me really excited. It was something I was hoping for considering a certain trend with these movies, but when it actually happened, I went, hell yeah, let's go full speed ahead with the 11th and 12th movie. If I were to rank this among the other films, it's my 6th favorite. It's just above Tokyo Drift, but below Hobbs and Shaw. Sorry people, I like Hobbs and Shaw a little better than this one, but it's still very entertaining, and I'm back on board with this franchise. And there you go, that's my review for Fast X. I hope you enjoyed it. And now I want to know what you guys think about the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.